Boy, a lot of comments coming in from you after this conversation. I figured there would be. I gave you a break to get them in, and here they are. Is President Obama inspiring you to do anything? With a question, we'll go right to the top of the Twitter board, and you'll see what we're talking about there. Is he challenging you to do anything? It doesn't assume anything, Rick. I would rather Obama inspire my kid than anyone else on TV or in the media. Next one says, Rick, can't you see where this is going? What party doesn't want evolution taught in school? This congressman, next, is totally disingenuous. You got that one? This congressman is totally disingenuous. Anything Obama does different is wrong. Then they complain, no real change. So obviously there's a lot of people who are watching this story. Joining me again is Rudy Ruiz, who wrote an op-ed on CNN.com saying that Americans have to open their minds. He and I went around and around on this. The question is, are Americans then being stupid? Rudy, you've heard my conversation moments ago with the state senator from Oklahoma. Is this part of the discourse that we need to have? He's still saying he doesn't want the President of the United States directing or addressing our school children, but he went on to be a little more definitive about what it was about this that was bothering him. Did you buy it?
I didn't buy it, Rick. I think that, the issue isn't so much the so-called lesson plan, or I looked at the lesson plan this morning, and I think it was more like a discussion guide. I don't think that's really the issue here, and I don't think that's the way that constituents of conservative far-right leaders are interpreting it. I think that people are interpreting it as a fear that somehow their children are going to be taught things that they don't want them hearing, and I've even got phone calls from some family members of my own wondering if they should keep their children home from school.
But let's go to the point that he made, which I frankly think was not a bad point. He really defined his argument as such. There's part of this policy from the National Department of Education which seems to say that, or it asks the kids, he said, by the way, we haven't fact-checked this yet at CNN, so we're going on his word. Hopefully we'll continue to fact-check it. I asked him several times about it. That somewhere in that plan, they ask the kids, what is it about this president that inspires you? What is it about this president that inspires you? I think that that's leading to a conclusion that these children are inspired by this particular president. Not the presidency, but this president. Does he have a good point there?
Well, I think there's a couple points to make on that, Rick. One is that I believe this discussion guide that is being distributed to schools in no way is being forced upon them. I think ultimately it's up to each individual local school district administrator or teacher to decide if they're going to use it or not. I think the second point is the discussion guide and the questions in there are directly going to be related to the speech. So how can we pass judgment on the merits of the discussion guide if we haven't heard the speech yet?
But do you think the President of the United States should be asking school children in this country how he inspires them? I think so. Not if he inspires them, how he inspires them.
I think so, because I think the point is the word inspiration. You know, I think we're thinking that inspiration can only be in one direction. I think a person could be inspired to have a negative or a positive reaction. In this case, I believe the president's topic is primarily the value of an education and how it helped him achieve his goals, his dreams. And I think in that context, he's an excellent role model for youth to believe that you can come from any background, any place in America, and if you get a good education, you can leverage that to have an opportunity to get ahead in this world.
What do you think of when I challenged him and asked him to tell me any Democrat president that he's ever voted for, and the answer was zero, zilpo, nacho, nothing, nada. He did say he once voted for a mayor who was a local politician and was a Democrat. A lot of people are going to look at that in our audience, and they already are from what I can tell as I'm reading this, and say, you know what? This is just exactly what you were talking about, Rudy. The Republicans just hate this guy because he's a liberal Democrat, just like a lot of liberal Democrats hate Republicans like they did George Bush because of what he stood for.
I agree. I think he was backpedaling. I think he overstepped, as you said, at the beginning of the newscast. And, I believe that if people can take issue with the president speaking about the value of education to our youth, then it's obvious that they're going to take issue with anything that he's going to talk about.
Rudy, thanks so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Rick.
His team lost, and he had